You mentioned that when I got to the YouTube part of speaking the message I've been speaking for over 10 years, I hear people say, if you that guy, then you don't have to worry about submission. I submit to say that's not necessarily true. It's in America for sure. I believe that oftentimes men are good enough, do everything that they're supposed to, do provide and protect and add any other acronyms or anything, do all the stuff that he's supposed to do. But men are fighting so many outside forces, single friends, the government, media, movies, books, all these things that are pushing hyper individualism and guiding women into a way to have problems at home, that even if you are that guy, you might still have problems with somebody because she's comparing you to what she's seeing shit on Instagram. She's comparing and if you don't match up to the Joneses who live down the street, and if you don't have an S500, instead you got you got an E class and they got an S class, she's upset. And because you're supposed to have an S class. And even though you're doing everything you're necessarily supposed to do, and you are that guy, you just decided not to get an E class because maybe you want to do something different. So I think that's more of an ego thing. And that today women can have a man that's doing everything that he's supposed to do, and still the submission thing becomes problematic for him. But to Humble Dad and to Hink, you guys had mentioned about following that plan. And then Humble Dad asked Hink, he said, are you no, I think it was somebody asked Hink and said, are you willing to, listen to somebody's ideas? And Hink was like, yes, of course. I'm not above reproach. I'm gonna listen to anybody that comes with some good ideas. But here's the thing. Humble Dad and Hink, you guys said follow your plan. My question to you was, what if she doesn't want to follow? What if she hears your plan and doesn't like it? What happens when a woman hears your plan, here's your program, here's what you want to do, here's your 5-year goal for the family, and this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it, and I've already laid it all out, and she doesn't necessarily think that's the best idea. She comes with you maybe with a counter idea, and you don't like her idea, then what?
Like,
What
is this
happens
before
when your
marriage or
woman
after marriage?
hits you with some information that you may not necessarily want to roll with because you want to do something different, but she just knows that your idea is not the plan. Your program is not the best program for your family. What happens at that point? Are you willing to modify your program for a woman? That's the whole, that goes back to the whole understand. I want a woman to understand. Does she need to understand you? Or is it, or are you guys willing to modify your program based on what your woman tells you?
Well, as far as me, she's going to follow my plan because I've already proven and shown to her them other ideas and plans and subjects. I mean, not subjects, but ideas and I can't think of the word I want to say.
Yeah.
Programs that I've already proved to her and shown her that have worked previously. So now that I have the proof, she's going to be very reluctant to even question or even think about going against the plan that I may have. Now, if I've shown inconsistency, if I've shown where I'm not reliable, if I've shown that I've not held to my word, then I can't blame her for questioning my plan. I can't blame her for second guessing my plan. But as long as I've shown that and I've proven to her, it shouldn't be a problem.
Humble Dad.
If she's not willing to go with the plan, this is before. If it's before marriage,
before marriage, you guys are dating, and you like, look, this is what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to get my doctorate. After I get my doctorate, I plan on I'm gonna do this, but I want to open a practice on this side of town, right off of Main Street, and I'm gonna start there, and then I'm gonna branch off. I'm gonna bring in some associates. You got the whole thing laid out, and then in 5 years, I want to move from here, and I like this neighborhood, and I want to live over there. And if you whip. What if she's like, no, why don't we do this instead? Or she wants to do something different than you. What do you do at that point?
She's probably not the one. You know what I'm saying? Unless like her plan that she has can coincide with mine, right? So I give you an example. I'll give you a real good example. My late wife Jen, she wanted to be a stay-at-home wife, right? And at the time, I was like, I don't know how we're gonna do this. This is crazy, And I was a teacher. However, I was like, okay, there have to be some things that are in place for this to even happen. And so I did research to see if it was going to be possible, you know. And so once I did the research and looked up some different things and went to different conferences, I was like, oh, okay, I see what it is that you're trying to do. All right, this is what we're gonna have to do because you're not gonna be working really, you know what I'm saying, or you're gonna work for a little bit. We got to save up. So I began to put in a particular plan that will allow her to be a stay-at-home mom, right? And while I still get in the trajectory of trying to get to my goals. At that time, it was I wanted to be a principal, and then it later on became I wanted to get my doctorate. And because I was able to help her with her goals, she then fall in line again with the goals that I had. Fast forward, right? The things that I'm trying to do now, Kendra is like, oh, okay, let's get this particular thing done. Right now, I'm trying to get ready to do a tiny home community, right? And she's like, oh, okay, well, why don't you do this, right? As at the same time, she's building, we are together, putting together a makeup school. We have a makeup school. She already had it, right? So now I'm like, okay, how can I incorporate your makeup school at the same time while I'm trying to build a tiny home community? Because she see, if she was to like, nah, that ain't gonna happen, we would have problems. Like we would have talked about that in the beginning. You feel me? But we talked about that at the beginning, and she saw that what I was trying to do was not going to hinder her from what she's trying to do, right? Because I can see that if I help her with her plan, that it'll probably provide us more resources to get me to my plan, right?
You think so?
Yeah. Because the makeup school makes money.
Hold on, Shannon. You hold that thought because he's transitioning into the next topic. Let me get Marcus and Trev in. Hank, did you answer this question already?
Yeah, he answered it first.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and go to Marcus. We go to Trev. What qualities do you look for in a woman before determining if she's qualified to be a wife?
First, I agree with most of the points that the brothers made earlier. Can you hear me? Is it fine? Microphone. All right. One of the things that I try and do is like really probe people. So when I want her to understand me, I also want to understand her. So like I always used to say this, when I fired people from the job, it wasn't because of something they actually did. It was because the way they brain worked. And by the way I ask the probing questions, I can kind of anticipate the things that are possible within the realm of what they'll do and what they won't do. And if she seeks to understand me and what I want and need, then she kind of molds herself into what I'm molding her into at the same time. So she can, without me being there, be like, nah, he's not going for that. That's not going to work. She can almost mirror some of the ways that I'm gonna move. So and when I'm not there, I can trust that she can move how I need her to move. And I'm talking about I be all on tangents, weird scenarios, every possible. If some aliens came, XYZ, I just need to know how your brain works. And once I figure that out, that can kind of push you forward. Extreme, like for me personally, I need, like I said, extremely compassionate, caring, soft-spoken, women that want to give of themselves, that don't necessarily desire to like, if like Shan example earlier, he was talking about the women who want the S500 as opposed to the E class. I would never date that woman who want the S500. I would mess with her, but I would not move forward with her, because if she has a materialistic desire that always wants the next best thing, it's always going to be somebody richer, and I'm always going to be at a deficit. So I'm always going to pass on her, and she might be super bad. I'm gonna hit, but I will not stay with her, because I understand long term we gonna hit that fork in the road, and she gonna veer this way, and I'm gonna veer that way eventually on something. I don't know what it's gonna be. Or I'm gonna end up working myself to death in a John Henry syndrome, trying to make sure I give every material desire that is necessary. For me, I seen too many examples of men pretty much killing themselves or literally dying, getting killed, trying to provide for somebody's extravagant, luxurious idea of what their lifestyle should be. I avoid those women like the plague. I'm not gonna lie.